Tonight on Country Squire Radio, it's a tobacco talk, baby.
Ow!
We got some good tobaccos we're going to tell you about, or are they? That's what reviewing is all about, really.
That's the thing, we pretend like they always are, but sometimes they're,
sometimes they're hamster
there
cage.
are those hamster cage.
We don't
tobaccos out
always
there.
pretend.
Yeah, no, that's right. No, yeah, that's right.
Also, we've got a pipe question of the week, all about blending tobaccos and perhaps what is some of the secret sauce that happens in the in JD's John David's mind and tobacco bar. Also, we've got quick fire questions, listener feedback, and more happening right now on Country Squire Radio. Welcome to Country Squire Radio. I'm Beau.
And I'm John David.
JD!
Hey, Beau. Good evening, man.
Good evening to you, sir. How you doing tonight?
I'm doing great. Yeah, doing great, man. It's been a heck of an August, man. Just for a variety of reasons, But things are good. Just got back in town with the wife from visiting my parents, and man, that was good. I always joke they live in L.A., which doesn't stand for what you think it stands for. It stands for Lower Alabama.
Yeah.
And that's a thing. If you didn't know, ask anyone from South Alabama that.
Yeah, I'm sure anybody from South Alabama would claim that.
No, that's right. Yeah, of course they would. Yeah. Man, things are good though. Getting back in gear, and it's been busy for an August. To be honest with you, man, there's just been pipe purchases and tobacco, man, going out the door like crazy, and it's kind of weird because we're thankful for it. Obviously, we've got plenty of bills to pay, but for an August, it's been a good month. Yeah, so we're man, lots of new pipe smokers finding us from different parts of the country, and been teaching a lot of new pipe smokers the ways of packing and tamping right here at the tobacco bar here at the shop, and man, it's been a lot of fun. So
that's good, man.
Yeah, what's going on with you, dude?
Oh, dude. All right. So my wife and I, we just celebrated a milestone anniversary, our 11th, which is kind of interesting.
11 years.
11 years, man.
Wow.
Yeah. It's interesting because after the 10-year anniversary, 11th almost seems a little lackluster. Well,
yeah, I know, right?
The big one was last year.
What do we do with that?
Exactly.
Yeah.
But we actually had a lot of fun.
Has she let you move in the house yet?
Very funny.
Okay.
So it was actually great. I was pretty proud of this. I did kind of a chef's table. I cooked her a 6-course meal.
I didn't know you could sneak that many courses into a meal.
Yeah, well, it's all about portion sizing and stretching it out. So here's broccoli, that's a course, that kind of thing. But it was a lot of fun, man. I actually I've kind of made a makeshift chef bar by getting these 2 chairs and putting a bench on them, and pulling up the breakfast room table right up to the
that's good.
to the thing. So I was cooking for and everything else.
Just some flowers and candles and stuff.
I did, man. Yeah. Got some flowers, candles. And then the next day, and this was kind of our big thing for our anniversary, we actually went up to Memphis, and actually took the kids and had a blast. Went to the Peabody, and got to see the Ducks. There's a place in Memphis. Have I ever told you about the House of Muse?
No, I don't think so.
Our Memphis contingency, they know what I'm referring to.
I thought there was something called that in New Orleans. No, Three Muses.
Yeah, that's Three
on,
Muses.
On Frenchment Street.
Totally different.
Very different.
Scenario.
Okay, all right. Do tell.
The House of
Muse in Memphis, Tennessee.
Okay, so how? All right, let me just put it like this. It is a cat rescue organization that has a room the size of maybe your humidor, but maybe a little bit smaller than your humidor.
I think I'm about to be disgusted, but go on.
There's 200 cats packed into this tiny room, and it's if you're a cat lover, it's an amazing experience. And honestly, even if you're not a cat lover, it's just an amazing experience. You know what I mean?
I feel like at some point you ought to, be overwhelmed by something like that in your life. At our local Killis shelter here, Kara, they have that cat room where they're all crawling on each other and playing on those big tall trees and stuff. And it's like it's like there's not enough rodents in the world to make this okay. You know, it's just really something. No, I mean, some people are cat people.
No, look. It was our kids are they love cats, they love animals and everything, so we took them in there.
Well, that's good. They probably enjoyed that.
Oh, it's like I said, amazing experience. I will say this though, how when you walk into a tobacco shop, you basically it stays with you all day.
Did the cat room stay with you?
Oh my gosh! You walk into that cat shop and you're just like
it lingers.
You cannot even breathe. Fortunately, they opened up one of those bath bomb places right across the street.
So y'all went over there, took your clothes off.
Yeah, just let the soapy fumes fix it.
They really need to have one of the going in and out of that room. They almost need to have one of those chambers with the Intel suits, you know, and where they hose you down and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, it has right. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. There's just a lot.
Yeah.
That's disgusting.
But it was a great time and a lot of fun. But
not enough tobacco in the world to cover that,
to counter that. Yeah. I would actually almost be curious if you could have like a competition, like go to actually there was I think Madison Tobacco is on Union in Memphis on kind of the way to Cooper Young. So I probably should have gone into Madison Tobacco, smoked a couple bowls and sat right in the center,
like pre-game kind of.
Well, you know what it is. It's like you got the center of like the old dudes that all sit around in the easy chairs.
Yeah,
just sit in the center and just smoke while they're smoking around me.
Right.
And then go straight from there to the House of Muse and figure out afterwards which scent is more like pungent.
Potent, right.
Cats versus tobacco. That'd be interesting.
Yeah, for a tobacco lover, I'll take tobacco 12 times out of 10. Yeah.
Well, I will say this, man. There's a lot of great things going on for tobacco lovers, especially locally, because as listeners who've been tuning in, at least for the last couple episodes, know, the Squire is now in a new location.
That's right.
And a grand reopening is happening here in the very near future.
Yes, sir. Man, absolutely. We've got September 20th as our day. And, of course, we'll be having a big event here at the shop. Live music, we're in works on that. We're hoping to have some fun vendors that'll be here. Our good friends with Perdomo Cigars will be here doing an event that evening. And so, man, come one, come all. We're excited. Grand reopening of the Country Squire. Gosh, it's just going to be a blast. We're eager to get the next 48 years on the road. So, yeah, man, it's we're looking forward to it. I think things will be good. So, that's been exciting. Couple things going on around the pipe world as well. We've got this coming weekend, actually, September 1st, is the grand opening of the Briarworks Pipes out of Nashville. They have just moved to a new location, and they are having their grand opening. They're actually going to have a shop on site. So they'll have their own tobacconist, basically their own tobacco and pipe shop.
Wow!
There at the factory, and so just a great thing, man. Our good friends at Briarworks Pipes, they this is kind of their brainchild. They're like, we have so much fun making these pipes, and it's such an interactive experience. Let's get people in here to see the manufacturing process, but while we're at it, we might as well have a pipe shop, and so they're gonna have the full deal, man. You can go in there and purchase your favorite Briarworks tobaccos and pipes, man. Sit around and chew the fat with some of the local crazies, and man, it's just gonna be a lot of fun.
That's so great. I mean, you hear a lot about these breweries, and in many states who've had to kind of fight for the right to be able to sell their own beer at the brewery.
Yeah.
And so like to take that kind of concept into the pipe manufacturing scene. What an exciting
Isn't
time!
Great.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So it'll be a lot of fun. If you are in the Central Tennessee, Nashville area, be sure to check that out. That's this coming Saturday.
Let them know Country Squire Radio
September 1st. Please do. Tell those guys, hey, we love them. And I was really hoping we could get up there this weekend, but alas, there's so much going on. Of course, we're close to the Texas Pipe Show, which is Friday and Saturday, October 5th and 6th. The actual show is on October 6th there in Fort Worth. And it's at Pop Safari Room again, like it was last year. At yours truly, actually, on Friday, October 5th at 7 p.m., we'll be teaching a blending workshop.
Yeah.
They have invited me to come teach. So honored to do that. That was really, really kind of them to ask the humble young tobacconist to do that. But man, really, really exciting. We're looking forward to being there and celebrating our pastime with so many dear friends. So it should be a lot of fun.
That's awesome, man. All right, so we also have kind of a big show announcement as well. At long last, I know this has been oft requested. Country Squire Radio is in fact available on Spotify.
Whoa!
Yes.
Whoa!
Yes, we have joined the ranks of such podcasts as a lot of podcasts. And no, it's
no. I mean, this is momentous. Let's think about that. I mean, I hadn't really absorbed this. So you mean you can get your fix of Styx, Britney Spears,
like you do
together,
right?
Obviously, if you want to throw in some George Gershwin in there, even Dave Matthews, if you want to stoop that low.
Yeah, throw in your Cardi B. Let's just keep it.
And then Country Squire Radio, all on one fell swoop.
All in one
app. That is unbelievable.
How about it?
On Spotify.
Man,
how many favors do you have to call in to do that?
It was super easy, barely an inconvenience. It was like,
I have a couple friends listening that if you caught that quote, you'll be laughing right now.
Appreciate that. No, we got it. We got it in there. So just but happy to be on Spotify.
That's great.
It's been requested for quite some time.
That's good.
Any and look, if y'all want Country Squire Radio somewhere, let us know, and we'll do our best to make it happen.
And Spotify really lowering their standards, huh? Let the likes of us on there.
I mean,
I got to think that's golly. I mean, I know a lot of artists have been, pulling out so that, maybe they're getting desperate for content. I don't know.
I mean, we could have been on Spotify.
We should pull out. We should be like, nah. I mean, we want some money for the right. Y'all gotta, raise our premiums.
Hold out. Yeah. For the big, like, do you know who we are?
Yeah.
Like, oh, you don't? Yeah, most people don't.
Yeah, most people don't. But I tell you what, if you pretend like you know who we are, we'll continue to go along with your company, right?
It's like, well, do you smoke a pipe? Oh, you do. Well, do you know who we are now? Maybe. All right. Well, yeah. Anyway, so we're on Spotify. So hip hip hooray, we are there. But
that's great.
Thing is, we don't need to celebrate us, man. We need to celebrate the folks that are making this show happen. Of course, I'm talking about our friends who are now, in fact, members of the Country Squire Radio International Pipe Club. Ladies and gentlemen, we got 2 new members joining at the Squire level.
2 new. Oh, at the Squire level.
At the Squire level.
That's fantastic.
All right, here we go. This is going to be difficult, man. I'm going to really struggle with these names. Are you ready for this?
Yeah.
All right. Ryland Brown. It's Ryland Brown.
It's really Ryland Brown.
Yeah, it's Ryland Brown.
Well, we need some more gosh, we've got these really wonderful people with these simple names. I feel like it's a great blessing, but Beau feels kind of committed to this whole, destroying your name shtick and, and all that. So, I mean, I don't know. Where's the Polish people when we need them?
All right, look.
Those people with all the consonants in a row kind of thing.
All right. So we got Ryland. Welcome, Ryland.
Ryland Brown. Thank you so much, brother.
All right. Next one up, we got Zachary May.
Zachary May. Yes.
Zachary May.
Zachary May, dude. Thanks so much. We're so thankful that you guys found us and or joined us at the Squire level in the Country Squire Radio International Pipe Club.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. And it's more than just a shtick. It's expectation setting, because when we do have listeners like the listener formerly known as Morton Sendevi, when we've got listeners like him, it's like, well, hey, I'm mispronouncing Zach Harry's name.
No, that's right.
It's all
that's right.
It's all fine. It's all good. But anyway, yes, if you'd like to be a member of the International Country Squire Radio Pipe Club, absolutely join us over at patreon.com/Country Squire Radio for more information there. And for those of you who have been emailing and messaging saying, hey, I thought there was 100 episodes that came along with this membership, there is, just as soon as we can figure out how to get them back after the hack. But they are available.
Oh, they're not back yet.
They're not back yet.
Okay.
But I'm working on it.
Okay.
We're on it. We're on it.
Okay.
It'll happen.
There's some gems back there, and by gems, I mean,
what are the really cheap gems that nobody wants? Like the birthstones.
Cubic zirconia.
Yeah. Like, how there's some birthstones that it's like, oh wait, that's my birthstone.
Yeah. Mine's like garnet or something.
Is it?
Like, don't you dig that up in the backyard? Like, along with the little pebbles and
yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
along with pennies droppings.
Yeah,
man. Yeah. Well, on that note,
tobacco talk. Right? Yeah,
it's gonna be a good one tonight.
It's gonna be a good one, man.
All right. So for those that may be new to the show, welcome. And yes, here 30 minutes into the show, we are going to talk about tobacco. This is a tobacco talk. This is a series that we've done since the beginning of the podcast, in which we take various tobaccos and do what you would expect a pipe tobacco podcast to do. That is to review these tobaccos. And John David, what have you got for us tonight?
Yeah, it is funny. The tobacco talk kind of brings us back to our core, right? It always does. It's one of those episodes that we're tapping home base. It's kind of coming home, but we like to pick out interesting tobaccos, maybe ones you've heard of, ones that you haven't heard of. And, we're going to check out, just kind of what we think and talk about descriptions and some of the stories behind them and that type of thing. So tonight we've got a couple here that a couple from brands you may have heard of and maybe tobaccos from those brands that you are not familiar with. But tonight we're going to lead with Rattray's Howl of the Wind. Rattray. Oh. Yeah, I know, right? Yeah. Howl the Wind, and I'm probably mispronouncing this because let's face it,
wind?
We are talking about Scottish people here,
right?
And so this is Rattray's. It's that old-fashioned Scottish tobacconist, established 1903. This all this stuff is made by Kohlhaas Kopp in Germany now, which we've talked about before. On previous tobacco talks as being just one of the most prolific boutique tin blenders today. But Rattray's How the Wind, delicious tobacco. This is something that has obviously been around for quite some time. 1903, Rattray's was founded in Scotland. The pipe making actually was mostly farmed out by Rattray's to different companies, but they kind of white labeled their own pipes. So they'd find manufacturers to make pipes. They'd call on their own, but they were big on blending their own tobaccos there at the original shop in Perth, Scotland. Eventually, the company, through various iterations, just like the rest of the premium tobacco world, has merged, retired, revived, bought out, moved, all these different things. And so, again, today these tobaccos are made by Kohlhaas and Kopp in Germany. But man, excellent tobacco. How the Wind. We've got, let's take a look first, I guess, at the labeling, which we always do. So it's very simple, but very kind of classic golden yellow color label here. It's Rattray's with a cursive R, made by hand. How O the Wind, and wind is WYND. It's probably pronounced wind, but again, I'm not. We don't fancy all that correct pronunciation on CSR.
Hello the wind. Hello.
Where'd your Scottish accent go?
I I don't have it.
Give me that tin.
I can't even do it tonight. I can't even do it tonight.
So the back of the tin, this is the 1.75 ounce or 50 gram tin. It's it says full red Virginia flake, ready rubbed. And I'll read you, the official description. How the Wind is an unusually strong Virginia-based mixture. Fire-cured Kentucky is added to a base of a variety of Virginias, and Perique completes this mixture. It is then pressed and finally rubbed by hand. A full-bodied Virginia tobacco with a slight sweetness and extremely pleasant smoking characteristic. The name comes from that of the armorer in the novel The Fair Maid of Perth, a man who had, quote, a most unusual share of strength. And so they also go on to say it has a spicy touch of Perique. So anyway, interesting, just real clean tobacco packaging. We're looking at one of the vacuum seal coin style tins that we know and love. And so anyway, I just open that up, and I'm gonna let Beau kind of describe what he's seeing and smelling and all that.
Well, of course, you got the dumpling-esque packaging. Can I say that? Dumpling?
Oh, I kind of like that.
It is kind of like that, right?
Yeah.
So you get the
yeah, it's like a dumpling. Well, it's the Elizabethan collar of tobacco packaging, right?
Oh, wow. Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Interesting. There's kind of a mustiness going on here.
Yeah,
I don't mean that in a bad way.
No.
You know what it smells a lot like to me?
Please say something ridiculous.
Figs.
Oh.
You're surprised. They're like, actually.
I thought you were going to say something ignorant like raisins or something. But no, yeah, figs. No, figs. Yeah. That's good. Yeah.
Actually, I pick up a lot of figs.
Yeah. That's good. Mm-hmm. Actually, my wife this weekend ate a fig for the first time in her life.
Did she really?
She'd never eaten a fig.
But, you just expanded her horizons, man.
I know, right?
All right, so ribbon cut, very kind of thinly ribbon cut.
Well, it's interesting. It's a broken flake. So the flake was.
Is that right?
It is. A flake has been chopped relatively finely, but you can find it in there. And I probably have torn it up a bunch because I've smoked quite a bit of this tobacco.
Yeah.
But, this tobacco, it's a fine, ready rubbed cut, and so you've got you can still see the tobacco wants to cling together. It's almost kind of a spongy texture there, but
somebody's been messing around with this tobacco.
Someone has been messing around because someone likes it a lot and he smokes it. It's full-bodied red Virginias. The mustiness that you speak of there is not necessarily on accident, because we are talking about these kind of matured Virginias, but they're married with of course Kentucky dark fired, which gives it even more of that almost. It's a musty, stovey, smoky flavor that is kind of interesting. And so it does remind me a lot of some of those blends that has just a hint of that dark fired Kentucky burley in there, because it has some. So great tobacco. This is one that loads really easily. The moisture content for a 10 tobacco of this variety is pretty high. So this is a tobacco that I think you'll probably want to let sit a little bit as you open it. It's one of those you might sit it, pull out some tobacco, kind of tear it apart, and let it sit separately, maybe on its own little piece of paper or something for a few minutes before you load it in your pipe. You won't want to overpack this tobacco. This is one that needs to be packed, I think, a little gently, and it will force you to work. You are gonna, tobacco. You are gonna have to. You are gonna have to sip this tobacco in order to really enjoy it. But I think it's one of those again that will reward you with a lot of flavor if you kind of baby it. So again, those matured Virginias, they a lot of times those tend to smoke cool, but paired with the Perique and even more so really the Dark Fire Kentucky, it's going to have a little kick to it, a little bite, a very pleasant one. But I think a lot of our Virginia fans will really love How the Wind, and it's something that if you are a Virginia smoker, you've probably already found. Yeah.
Interesting. How long did you say, have you said this blend has been around?
Well, I'm not exactly sure this particular blend, but I know it's one of their oldest blends. I can't imagine it being younger than 50, 60 years. Yeah.
Interesting.
So really, really old blend. It's been around a long time. Of course, one of Rattray's most coveted blends. A lot of folks, post the McClellan fall, have gone to Rattray's to get their fix of those mature, well processed, just delicate Virginias that they've been coveting and enjoying for years and years. And so Rattray's has been kind of a place that a lot of those folks have landed. But anyway,
but you don't get the ketchupy.
You don't. It's a different experience. It is. You open the tin and it's definitely not that vinegar forward flavor with tins like this. You'll have elements of that, but this is more oats, more hay or horse feed, kind of sweet feed kind of smell to it. It's got a just a real pleasant kind of meadow smell. So yeah, really good, but it is a different experience.
All
So,
right.
but if you're a Virginia person and don't mind something that's a little more on the robust side, again, we talk about matured Virginias. When you're opening a tin of this, don't think 5100. Don't think red cake or anything. We're thinking something a little more full bodied. Think a nice soft Virginia tobacco meets a healthy dose of smoke and a good bit of nicotine, and that's kind of where you're going to land here. So it's got a pleasant bite. One you'll want to baby a little bit, but I think will really reward you in the long run. Yep.
And you already talked about it, but of course the tin, it does have kind of the yellow gold, just very simple look to it. There's really not a whole lot of panache that goes with it. However, the Rattray's are their logo is quite elegant, and it's very what do you think, calligraphic?
Calligraphic, yeah.
Calligraphic?
I don't think that's a word, but it may be. I don't know, but yeah, it's
Val.
kind of has that old school look to it.
Yeah,
Very,
I mean,
very,
like that's
very
where
appealing.
the flair is right
Yeah.
there. Established 1903, of course, and yeah, just very very simple look for a very delicious tobacco.
Very much.
All right, so that's Rattray's Howl of the Wind.
That's right.
Wind or wind.
Yeah, however you say it.
Wind.
So next, moving on, we've got a tobacco brand that's really, been quite popular recently. It's one that I keep seeing pop up in my news feed of folks that, enjoy premium tobaccos. And it's one of those, it seems like that's just kind of making a comeback in popularity, or maybe it's just kind of cycling back through the rounds of popularity. Things people kind of get onto one thing, they'll move on to something else, and they'll come back around to something else. And this brand of tobacco, has certainly done that of late, although they've been around for a long time. We're talking about Robert McConnell. Robert McConnell blends, oddly enough, have kind of been hard to find to some degree, because they have this new popularity that's out there, and it's really interesting to see that that's developed. But they make a variety of blends. You'll find most of their stuff on the non-aromatic side, but this is one of the few aromatic tobaccos they make. It's what I'm smoking tonight, and I've really enjoyed it in my meerschaum. This is a SMS billiard meerschaum. That's just our friend Hochter, I think earlier, was commenting on that I'm smoking a meerschaum tonight. I love SMS meerschaums because they're probably of of the meerschaums that kind of top out around 200, with that $100 to $200 price range meerschaum, they're just the best quality, man. They really are. They're so consistent. The construction, everything is really good. The tenons always fit and are not suspect, and the stems are high quality, and I really appreciate them too because they have a presence in America and they stand by their work. So this is a Turkish made pipe, but they've got folks in America that if you buy it from a SMS dealer, man, they will stand behind their work. So anyway, that just a plug for probably my favorite meerschaum company, but love them. So anyway, smoking that in there tonight. Robert McConnell, we're talking tonight about their ripe honeydew.
Ooh.
And so, I've kind of gotten interested in this concept of the honeydew tobacco. You might be aware because we recently came out with a limited edition blend, Delta Honeydew,
right?
Which has been selling like hotcakes, and it's been so popular that we think we're going to have to whip up some more because it's become one of those that people have wanted to smoke regularly, which is kind of fascinating. So, ripe honeydew, Robert McConnell. We've got a tin here, again, a vacuum seal style tin, the coin style. It's a brown tin. It just very simply under the kind of crest there says ripe honeydew, and on the back it says dark brown, ready rubbed, cut plug, century old formula, naturally sweet. And so we just been kind of interested in this concept of a honeydew tobacco lately. What does that mean, and where does that come from? And so anyway, I'm gonna hand this off to Beau, let him describe what he sees here.
I'm anticipating melon here, but in terms of the actual tin itself, of course, as you say, kind of the coin style with nice brown. This one does have a bit more of a flair to it in terms of the McConnell.
Yeah.
What is that font? I'm trying to think of the. It's not Comic Sans, but it's one of those that's kind of meant to look like.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely. It looks like it's supposed to be in cursive. Yeah.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
But it's. Yeah, I'll be honest, nothing to write home about in terms of the actual branding itself. But for it to have this resurgence, it's not about the brand in this instance; it's about the tobacco.
That's right.
Let's pop it open. We got that Elizabethan dumpling.
How wow. All fine tobaccos are packaged.
Okay,
with the Elizabethan dumpling.
In terms of the tin, though, this is interesting. You said this is what you're smoking right now.
That's right.
Okay,
yeah, that's right.
Because I don't know if it was your pipe or the fact that this just has such a powerful tin note to it. But I just popped this bad boy open. I'm holding right now the tin, a good maybe foot and a half away from my face.
Yeah,
and I instantly
you smelled it.
Woo!
Yeah.
There it is. So this is Melanie. This is very much got a fruity scent to it, but also pepper.
A little bit. Yeah. Huh. Yeah. People have said that. Honeydew tobaccos on average have tended to be that you'll have this kind of honey flavoring going on, but there's a tendency for these tobaccos to be, Virginias that are naturally sweet, and there might be some kind of topping added to them, but the focus on a quote unquote honeydew tobacco is for the Virginia sweetness to kind of speak for itself and maybe have some kind of light casing on it, which is kind of interesting because when you think of honeydew, you think of the honeydew melon, right? It's something that is obvious when you read the name,
or Dr. Benson,
or I don't understand
that's a Muppets reference.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay, good. So I get it now. Yeah. So when you're talking about, honeydew tobaccos, it is the focus on that Virginia, but, with the natural sweetness kind of, being highlighted maybe by some type of topping, in some cases, honey itself, in some cases, some type of fruit topping like the one we came out with. And the McConnell ripe honeydew, we've got a honey topping here. Now, this says it's a straight Virginia, and it also says it is a ready rubbed cut plug. Now, it's interesting to me because this tobacco, when you look at it, is a very, very fine ribbon cut. I mean, almost a shag cut. I mean, this is something you could probably roll into a cigarette and really, have a nice consistent smoke with.
Yeah,
it's really very interesting. Yeah. Just real fluffy. It's one of those that I think you could overpack really easily because it's, you're cramming a bunch of it down into your bowl and it's going to expand real quickly as it's down in there. But yeah, kind of an interesting, fruity, sweet aroma from the tin.
All right, so like after like going, because I instantly recognized or like connected the smell with something, and I think I figured out what it is.
Yeah.
For me, and I know you'll scoff at this because I I can never quite get
No, I get it.
describe it in your words, but it reminds me of at Christmas. We used to
Yeah.
make these like clove apples where
Yeah.
you take the cloves and press them into the apples, and like that's the
That's the
smell.
smell of that. You
Yeah.
smell that clove is really there when you put your
Yeah.
nose deep in there, and it's something you don't really taste. But man, on the tin note, gosh, the clove is very
It's
very present.
undeniable, yeah.
Yeah, it really is. It's quite amazing. But beautiful tobacco, just a real kind of blonde Virginia tobacco. There, and again, you'll have that kind of sweet honey clove smell to it. As it's burning, this tobacco again, it just burns to just a fine, fine white powder. Real nice burning tobacco. It is again one of those that you'll probably need to sip a little bit, but for tinned aromatics, it's really not particularly bitey compared to others. So I think you'll really enjoy it. It's an interesting tobacco, maybe a transitionary tobacco for someone that likes a non-aromatic, but also wants to, occasionally have something that's a little augmented in its sweetness. That's when we came out with Delta Honeydew, that's kind of what we wanted was something for the non-aromatic, maybe Virginia smoker that might just want a little bit of that, a little guilty pleasure, right? Just let's get a little bit of that sweetness in there that we all occasionally love. It's like, well, it's like someone that likes their coffee black and strong, but if it's that one time a year, maybe they slip in a little sugar, a lump or two of sugar in their cup of coffee,
Nice.
right?
Yeah,
and
yeah.
so that's kind of the concept there. So
it's the aromatic smoke with no judgment attached.
Right. No, yeah, exactly. Right. So anyway, it's just burns to a really fine white powder. It's a fast smoker, but very little tongue bite if you sip it slowly. And this tobacco also is made by Kohlhaas and Kopp there in Germany. So again, it's just going to be very very high quality. One thing that's interesting, and we got to get our researchers out on this. I've actually got. I'm glad our friend Brian Levine is listening tonight. I saw him tweet in earlier, but we need to get our pipe researchers in on this, and I've dropped an email to a couple of people in the industry asking to see if we can get some clarity on this. On Robert McConnell's tobaccos, that they've always got something in this crest at the very top of the tobacco. So this one says that it's not all the same. So each tobacco is different, but this one says Robert McConnell tobacco matured in bond. Okay. So if you're live, you probably can't see that, but live viewers, I'm holding the tin up and it says Robert McConnell tobacco matured in bond. I don't know what that means, and I've been scouring all day for some type of meaning for that. Matured in bond. I'm assuming that means some type of reference to the flavoring that has been attached to these Virginia leaves.
A bonding process.
Although I'm not positive. We think about what is bonded whiskey in America, and I'm sure I'm going to butcher this, but bonded whiskey has been, put under lock and key in a very specific way, so the government can say, okay, this is pure whiskey, how whiskey is supposed to be made. It's unadulterated, kind of thing. I'm wondering if maybe that has something to do, with what McConnell is saying here. But anytime you'll find ripe honeydew, it says tobacco matured in bond, and not all of the McConnell tobaccos say that on the front. And so I'm curious about that. I have not been able to find anything through just hours of research and digging. Going through forums and trying to I don't know. So I've got some feelers out. If anyone knows anything, maybe Brian or anyone else in the industry, I'd love to know what that means. I'm just real curious. That's something they just kind of very plainly put on the front, and so a lot of people probably just read right over it, right? But there's something there that is that's interests me. So I don't know what that means.
Well, maybe it's because it's matured in Bond. James Bond.
It could be.
My Mike, throw in the James Bond music there for just a quick second after I say that, and then cut out me asking you to do that.
Right. No, that'd be good. Yeah. Anyway, kind of interesting. I'd be interested to know if anyone could get their hands on some kind of information on that. But anyway, Robert McConnell, ripe honeydew. If you are a Virginia smoker that occasionally likes a little guilty pleasure of some added sweetness, I think this will be a great tobacco for you. Got a nice room note too. I think it's a pleasant room note. It's not something that's syrupy sweet. It doesn't make it smell like some of our house aromatics here, but it is a pleasant room note, and certainly for an aromatic is not terribly bitey. So yeah, something worth trying.
It is wild because I mean, like, you've been smoking that tonight, and it hasn't really like hit me until I busted open that tin. Then I'm like, what?
Bam! Yeah,
it's intense.
It's good stuff.
Well, man, the great thing about Tobacco Talks is we get a chance to discuss a lot of different tobaccos, but you want to make sure that when you're trying out all these different tobaccos, you're going to get a really good quality smoke that's going to allow you to taste all these various flavors, so that you can say something like figs and have John David go, oh, as if like it's like, okay, that might be a general observation there.
That's funny.
So if you want to make sure that you're getting that kind of quality surprise John David smoke, you need to make sure that you're smoking your tobacco out of a Missouri Meerschaum pipe.
That's right.
Our good friends at Missouri Meerschaum.
That's right. Yeah, as is tradition, right? Gosh, we love our folks at friends at Missouri Meerschaum, and really enjoyed seeing some photos of them over the past few months, hanging out at some of the world's biggest pipe shows, and connecting with some of their fans. So we love the folks at Missouri Meerschaum. Typically for tasting pipes, we recommend Corncob Pipes, because we know you're going to get a clean smoke for a very reasonable price. It's one of those that you really just don't have to overthink as far as shape and size and price and convenience and all these different things. So one of our favorite tasting pipes, of course, is the shortstop. The shortstop is just about a it's a tiny bowl. It's the same bowl as the Missouri Meerschaum Mini, but it has just a little bit of a longer wooden spindle shank on there, and it's just really a nice sized pipe for tasting. So one of those that'll fit in your pocket. You'll get a good 5, 10, maybe 15 minutes of smoking quality time out of it, but it's going to give you just enough to really get the flavor of the tobacco that you're going for, and it's a great fit for your next tobacco that you're going to try out.
Absolutely, man. The great thing about the shortstop is it's adorable, but it can get some work done. You know what I mean?
That's right.
It fits into that nice space, and it's always great, having kind of a pocket pipe like that, to be in a scenario like when you're walking the shop, like, well, let me just try that right there, and then to pull out your pipe right.
Your tasting pipe.
Yeah, be that guy. Like, don't get me wrong. Like,
it's your adorable tasting pipe,
because you can roll in a couple of different ways in your pipe shop. You can like have the leather pouch that literally you fold it out and it like goes all the way down the bar with all these different pipes and everything. Like, well, this was when I smoke today. But before you do that, pull out the pocket pipe. We get the shortstop and enjoy it. So of course we love the great quality pipes from our good friends at Missouri Meerschaum. And hey, if you've got a Missouri Meerschaum pipe, be sure to smoke it this week. Take a picture when you do, tweet it into us. It's a great way to let the good folks at Missouri Meerschaum know that you appreciate them for sponsoring this show.
We love those guys.
Absolutely.
Yep.
All right, man. Pipe question of the week.
Yeah, this is good. This is good.
This is coming in from Jeremy C. Jeremy C, who also actually wrote us a huge email, but it contained this question. So
yeah, no, it's good. I got to read. Got to read. That.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
So Jeremy asks. He says, when you, Mr. Cole, specifically you, Mr. Cole, are working your blending magic, do you do your own processing? I'm assuming, of course, that you will not uncover any trade secrets, but I was really interested to know if you make the casings for a blend like, for example, White Rose, aka God's gift to the tobacco world, or tobacco, Jesus's gift to the tobacco
depending
world.
on who you ask. Other people think it belongs in a hamster cage.
Them's fighting words.
That might be a different episode.
Wars have been fought. He says, or if you are using leaf that has already been cased in some way by someone upstream from you. Again, this is coming in from Jeremy C.
Jeremy, great question, man. And yeah, so, on average, basically everything that we put out has been, we use leaves that are already processed, already flavored from some of your large tobacco houses across the world. The person on my side of the counter, our job is to find really obscure interesting leaves, ingredients out there that you know, as an end consumer might not have access to. We get, leaves like that, maybe things that have been cased in interesting flavors or, processed in interesting ways that are only available in small batches. We go around, familiarize ourselves with those leaves, find them, and then make those into blends that we sell here in a retail environment. And so that's typically, most tobacconists in America, certainly on a local level, are going to operate that way. Now, we'll say, occasionally we'll throw in a little surprise, as far as, flavoring something ourselves. That's not something we typically do, but, on average, that's not something we typically do, but occasionally we will try to mix it up a little bit. But as far as where those surprises go and what tobaccos they're in, and where we put those into what quantities, and all that kind of stuff, you'll have to just leave to your imagination. So there's that.
That's about as close to the trade secrets as you're gonna
and
get.
and that's about it. Yeah, but on average, most retail tobacconists in the United States are taking tobaccos that have already been topped, cased, flavored. Occasionally, we do some of our own topping in house, but by and large, that's stuff that is already happening at some of your larger manufacturers. Again, our job as the boutique retail tobacconist is to find interesting small batch leaves, maybe with curious flavorings, toppings, hard to get things that are only available in certain quantities.
Mhm.
And then, finding those, coming up with some great recipes, pairing them with different things, and then putting them out in your favorite house blend. And so that's most of what we do. Yeah,
There you go.
most of what we do.
Little peek behind the tobacco
That's
counter for
good.
Jeremy C.
Yeah, yeah.
And hey, if you've got a pipe question of the week for us, be sure to send that in. You can email us show@countrysquireradio.com. Again, that's show@countrysquireradio.com. Quick fire questions. All right, man. Quick fire questions brought to us by our good friends at the Tin Society.
Love those guys.
More on them in just a minute.
Yes, sir.
All right, so these come in from Brady Muckleroy. Brady Muckleroy.
Yeah, yeah. Good friend Brady.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely. And
love that
see,
guy.
Muckleroy is exactly why I mispronounced Zach Harry. All right, are you ready for this?
Yes.
Fried chicken or grilled chicken?
Fried chicken.
Fried. We're in
Yeah.
Mississippi.
I mean, Wait, fried chicken.
I mean, grilled is like if I'm doing like no, it's fried. Coffee or tea?
Coffee, but I think, as we both have found, tea has a prominent place. Yeah. You may be a tea guy, huh? I don't know.
No, I'm coffee.
You're a coffee guy?
Yeah. I mean, like
you and I drink a lot of tea, but I'm a coffee guy,
I go through like tea phases. Like there was a while where I like cut back coffee like crazy just because my caffeine intake was so high. But now if I don't have the coffee, then I die. So didn't take.
Yeah, there is that. Yeah.
Cigars, Maduro or Connecticut?
Gosh, historically Connecticut, but man, I tell you what, recently, for some reason this summer, a lot of times in summertime, my cigar smoking will kind of tick up a little bit, just by nature of the weather and activity and things of that nature. But and normally those cigars tend to be on the lighter, Connecticut shade, maybe one of the more milder Habano wrapper sides. But man, I've been kind of in this Maduro kick. I don't know, it's kind of come out of nowhere. So I'll go with Maduro.
Okay, all right. And being that we are, of course, a pipe podcast, not necessarily a cigar podcast, for the listener that might not be as familiar with the distinction between these two,
right?
Which, of course, I'm not talking about me, mind you. I'm just
asking for a friend,
asking for the listener.
Right? Okay.
Just a quick overview of the differences between what that means.
Yeah. So a Connecticut leaf with the cigar is actually comes from the name. The leaf is actually indigenous to the state of Connecticut,
right?
Which of course we don't really think of often today as being a tobacco producing, part of the country or part of the world. Even Connecticut, we you just don't think of that.
You don't even think of Connecticut,
but you don't even. It's like people don't even think of Mississippi. It's like we're the landmass, right? Yeah. But so Connecticut leaf, they actually traditionally grow them under cheesecloth, under a shade, this kind of cheesecloth material, and it protects them from the sun's rays, so they just have a very, very light zesty flavor. It's one of those to protect it from almost anything that'll make the tobacco taste harsh or bold. And so most of your Connecticut leaves are going to be really
lighter,
really light.
Like I said that before you said it.
You
so
did.
Yeah.
So therefore,
So
you're not asking for yourself.
No.
That's been well
So
established.
Maduro would be more of a darker, stronger.
Well, it is. Maduro's, a traditional Maduro, a real Maduro, is a fermented leaf, and so you're going to have from that a more robust, velvety, thick, richer taste. A lot of times, folks associate that with strength, but a lot of times you'll get some natural sweetness from that. Think of what happens when you think of what happens when you take a barley and you ferment it and it becomes a Cavendish, right?
Sure.
So you've got a Cavendish tobacco. Cavendish, okay, even in its unflavored state, it's going to have a lot of natural sweetness to it. It's got some kind of velvety, sweet, almost some chocolatey vanilla tones there that come just by virtue of it being fermented. And so a lot of times your Maduros will have that. But yes, on average, Maduros tend to be bolder, richer, and more flavorful. So,
I like when they mix the two so that you get kind of the multi-leaf thing going on.
Yeah, like a barber pole.
Is that what that's called?
Yeah. You'll see that. Yeah. Matter of fact, we had some not too long ago that were actually in the shape of a baseball bat.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
And they were in honor of the Chicago Cubs, so they even took it was like a blonde, Connecticut baseball bat, but then they took a Maduro leaf and put a C on there. It was kind of interesting. That's they get creative,
All right, well, that's my choice. And then finally, pipes straight or bent?
Straight
all the way.
Yeah, straight.
I've
been a straight pipe smoker for years now, and I'm unrepentant of that.
Yeah, I mean, like even on your rack, you've got like maybe 2, 3, 4. The percentage wise, maybe only 5% of those pipes are bent.
Probably more than that.
Think
but
so?
I mean, yeah, but look, it's there's different pipes you want at different times, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And on average, some tobaccos go better in pipes that I've got that are bent, maybe this and that. But on average, I'm going to pull for a straight pipe. I just tend to think they smoke a little drier and a little cooler, and I like the look.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
No, these are great quick fire questions. Absolutely wonderful.
Brady,
Thank you so
much. Great musician, friend of ours from Texas, and of course, Squire Club member.
Yeah.
Yes.
Absolutely. Hey, John David, do you like Tobacco Talks?
Yes.
Yes, because Tobacco Talks allows you to taste various tobaccos. What if you could have your very own Tobacco Talk every single month with even more tobacco than you heard on this episode?
Wait, could it be at your house, like something you get on the doorstep?
Yes, home delivered even. What a deal. Worst commercial ever. No, it's because we don't do commercials. We do sponsors, man. We talk about people that we love.
That we love and support. Really That's right.
Right. Of course, we're talking about our good friends at the Tin Society. It's a great way to get a lot of different tobaccos shipped to your door every single month. And we're talking like tasting these tobaccos, getting a chance to really expand your palate and figure out what you like before you make that ultimate purchase.
I love what the folks at the Tin Society do, because a lot of folks, when they think, okay, you're going to send me some tobacco samples, and well, that's nice, but what does that really mean? Am I going to get enough of the tobacco to really have a good understanding of what it tastes like, or is it half a bowl, right? What's a tobacco sample actually? And what these guys are doing, they're putting together generous tobacco portions for you to get at least three solid smokes of that tobacco to really get a good idea if this is something that you like, or if it's something you don't like, maybe why. Expand your palate, compare it to things that you've got in your cellar, maybe places that your cellar might be lacking. If you're an aromatic smoker, kind of challenging that some. If you're a non-aromatic smoker, finding some things that you like, both in the non-aromatic kind of vein, but also challenging that and introducing you to some aromatics that are top notch. And so they're going to throw all kinds of stuff at you. You'll get tobaccos from all over the world, from tobacconists and from blenders that we talked about tonight, like Rattray's or Robert McConnell, ones that you may not have heard of, more obscure blenders. And so that's what's fun about it. It's always a surprise. It's always new. It's always premium quality, and it's always enough for you to really get a good sampling of that tobacco. So you can go to tinsociety.com, sign up. If you use the code Squire, you'll get 20% off your first month's service. It's really reasonably priced. It's one of those things that the folks, they're great folks. They stand behind everything they do. These are pipe enthusiasts. They're not in it to make a quick buck. These are folks that love love what they do and love the pipe community. And I
Absolutely.
think you'll really connect with them and frankly be really proud of what you get every month when you open that box.
Absolutely. So again, that's tensociety.com. Use the code Squire for 20% off on your first month's service. Listener feedback. All right, man. We got some great listener feedback.
Yeah.
First one from Dan Mosier. This is kind of a follow-up from last week where we kind of put it out there like, we were talking about different knives and methods for
You were talking about knives for cutting plug and twist and rope and that such.
All right. So what did Dan have to recommend?
Yeah, I would recommend the Opnel number 8 folding pocket knife for cutting plug and so forth. It's inexpensive and easy to sharpen or hone for regular use. And that's from Dan Mosher.
So great recommendation. Of course, it's been great to kind of see some of the folks on the YouTube and Facebook's kind of comment and share some different thoughts on that. So be sure to join that conversation as well. And if you have a preferred knife, would love to hear that.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, now this next one's from Jason. What did Jason have to say?
All right, you can make me read all these.
Yes, I am absolutely.
JD and Beau, first off, I want to say that I am grateful for the time you put into your show. I find myself more knowledgeable in the past 4 or 5 months that I've been listening to the podcast than I ever have been in 10 years of owning a pipe. Well, whatever you're doing in spite of us, that's good. Keep it up. I bought my first pipe around a decade ago, but until just this year, I was a very sparing smoker. I often have gone through months without even looking at the pipe, but I found myself just now smoking regularly, though I do still miss a day here or there. Part of the reason I don't smoke very often is that my first pipe was a cheap basket pipe and doesn't really smoke that well. Until I started listening to the show, I never actually realized what a world there is to pipe smoking and have started to transition primarily to corncob pipes. Shout out to Missouri Meerschaum for doing what they do so well.
Yay.
I have fallen in love with the Dagner poker style and have ordered the cob version from Missouri Meerschaum, hopefully being delivered this afternoon. I have one question for the two of you in light of the hot weather. What is your favorite summertime tobacco? I tend to smoke non-aromatics and Latakia blends mostly, but I'm open to anything delicious. Thanks again for all the time and effort that goes into what you do. You guys are great company for a fellow who doesn't have many choices in pipe smoking crowds nearby. And that's really, really kind note from our friend Jason. So
that's great,
yeah.
Jason.
Yeah, great question. I tend to be more of a non-aromatic smoker myself, but this time of year, I'm always a sucker for a good Virginia, and during the summertime, it seems like Orlet Golden Slice comes up more often than not. Gosh, I sound like a broken record, and maybe it's because I am. I love the stuff. I'll probably be buried with a 10. It just reminds me of a good hot afternoon, just fresh grass clippings and natural citrus sweet. Gosh, I just love the stuff. And so but everyone knows that already. I'm a fanboy. Aromatic tobacco that I go to regularly is one of our house blends. Actually, it's called Blue Ribbon. Blue Ribbon we've had here for about 5 years now. 4, 5 years? Yeah,
that can't be right.
I think about 5 years.
Blue Ribbon predated the show.
Yeah.
But we've been doing the show for 5 years. Have we?
Yeah.
It's been 4 years?
I think it's been 4.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's been about 4.
Because I was about to say, like, Blue Ribbon for me, for the longest time, that was my summer go-to.
Yeah.
At the moment, my summer go-to is going to be my fall go-to, which is just pulling the last little bits of frogmort. I've been going through my 10 just slowly, like
just working it down,
savoring it.
And that's wise too. This is a good time of year to smoke those half bowls, maybe. So
but Blue Ribbon is one of those tobaccos that for me personally, like I love during the summer.
It's a good hot weather smoke.
Absolutely,
yeah, it is refreshing. Of course, again, I don't smoke a lot of aromatics, but during the summer months, sometimes you do want something that has a fruit, maybe a berry flavor to it. But the key is finding one that doesn't have a lot of tongue bite. That's the key. And so anyway, I encourage you on that. To keep looking. So let's see. We've got some other let's see.
Sorry,
got
Mike.
some other got some other things here. Brian, our friend at My Own Opinion on Twitter, he says they're saying that they have had the tobacco for a long time and have overseen the aging. He's talking about the tobacco, the Robert McConnell matured in bond. tobacco, and Brian goes on to say they are saying that they have had the tobacco for a long time and they have overseen the aging of the tobacco themselves versus it aging at the grower or supplier. With the bond, they can prove how long they have had the leaf. It has never been inside Sean Connery.
But has Sean Connery been? You know what? Never mind. I was going to go in a direction.
Yeah, I think we should just stop there. So, but that's what Brian's saying. He's saying this tobacco. From beginning to end, they've kind of gone, through the whole process. They have overseen the aging of the tobacco themselves versus it being aged at the grower or the supplier. So, kind of fascinating. I wonder if that correlates in some way to the bonded whiskey that we see here in the United States.
That makes sense.
And that kind of thing. So, anyway, lots of good commentary on the Twitterverse, and we always love hearing from you guys.
James Bond and cats.
Yeah,
it's been a good one.
Yeah, no,
that's how you know. Right
that's it.
there.
Yeah.
Well, hey, we do of course love those that are tuning in live. We'd love to invite you to tune in live as well. You can join us for the live show on Monday nights. That's 8:30 p.m. Central Time, 6:30 Pacific, 9:30 Eastern. All happening at CountrySquireRadio.com. You can also keep up with us throughout the week. You can follow us on Twitter. I'm at the Real Beau York.
I'm at John David Cole, or you can get us at the shop at _Country Squire.
And of course, the show's handle is at Squire Radio, but all that information and more can be found at CountrySquireRadio.com. I knew that was going to happen.
There it is.
I will say this. I want to throw this out here as well before we kind of officially sign out. And that is, I want to encourage, if you've not done so already, head over to iTunes and write us a review. We don't plug that as much as we used to, but we absolutely should. We're like a very small handful of reviews away from getting 300 iTunes reviews. Like,
really?
Yeah, I think we need like seven.
Wow.
7 more reviews, and we're at 300.
Oh, that's awesome.
We can make that happen, please. Yeah, let's
can
make
happen
that happen
soon, man.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Even if you don't like iTunes, you can make that happen.
Get your significant others. Like call up your mom and them. Like get them to write us.
Do one under a fake email for your pet gerbil or something.
Yeah. And then don't tell Apple that we told you to do all that stuff. This is how people get kicked off.
Oh,
iTunes.
Is it really? Yeah. Okay.
No. Make sure they're real people and not gerbils. And as long as that's the case, then by all means.
But if you have a pipe smoking gerbil that loves Country Squire Radio, I think that's fair game.
And can type.
Anyone that has gerbils out there
or dictate,
let us know.
Yeah. Man, cats, gerbils, and James Bond. I think it's been an amazing,
and delicious, excellent tobacco.
Absolutely,
right.
Man. It's been a good one, and of course, a lot of great things that are going on. Let's go have a night.
See you, brother.
I'm tired.
Guys, we had so much fun tonight. It's always good to join you on these Monday evenings, and man, it has been crazy, but it's always a nice nightcap to begin the week with you. So we're here. And we hope to talk to you soon.
Russ has a small arsenal of knives, of recommended knives. I'm about to retweet those out.
Yeah. That's awesome.
There you go, man. Right there. All right, guys.
All right, fellas.
See y'all
be
next
good.
week.
See you soon.